when there's tension that comes about, that is produced, developed in the dynamics of living, in relationships, in whatever you find yourself, God always has order. God always has a line of authority. He has structure that He has built into this life, and even into our relationships. And so this morning we want to talk about the fact that, yes, marriage is like a tug of war. And in a tug of war, you have this tension that is created because you get out of balance, you get out of order, you get out of the structure and the overall design that God intends for you to live out of. And we love the visual here this morning of these two pieces of rope, because before you're married, you are like this. You're like two individual people.
Doing our own thing.
Doing your own thing. Go for it, honey.
You didn't have to do what I wanted to do, and I didn't have to do what you wanted to do, and we just made our own decisions, and we weren't accountable to any of us. Am I right about that?
I know. You loved it, right?
Yes.
And as a young girl, as a young woman, you get to do your own thing. You get to run around with your girlfriends. You don't have to call your husband up and let him know that you're going to be out a little bit later, or you don't have to ask him what's on his schedule for today. You just get to live a life of really less responsibility. Because when you get married, you enter into a whole new dimension of responsibility and accountability. But when you're single and young ladies, I look at these young girls, you're not married yet, and you're dating. Listen, come on now. Dating is fun. You get to flirt a little. You get to put yourself out there a little bit. But you know what? In a lot of ways, you still get to be young and fancy-free. I can remember being a young girl and just loving being a young girl, going through life, hop, skip, and a jump, no cares, no worries. Being single is pretty cool and pretty fun.
I know, and you did that in heels.
Thank you.
That's pretty good, isn't it? My knee's killing me. I don't think I could jump at all. Matter of fact, we did a Tug-of-War. I think you'd win today.
I think I just might.
Anyway, so what happens is, of course, I saw you there at church in the youth group, and, she's just this beautiful girl, and she loved the Lord, and, So what we did is we took our two ropes, and on June 17th, 1978, we haven't even celebrated our marriage anniversary yet, by the way. Too busy babysitting for our kids. Anyway, what we did is we tied the knot, right? Yep. We tied the knot. June 17th, 1978. Get it right. And
the wedding day is fun. You're celebrating. It's a party.
It was fun, all right.
Everybody's all dressed up, and you're thinking, "Oh, this is going to be great."
And it was great.
It was great,
wasn't it?
Yes.
All right, very good.
Yes.
That's good. Anyway, so, two become one, right? As it says in the book of Genesis, two become one flesh, and you start doing life together, and before you know it, the honeymoon's over, and all of a sudden you start getting into a tug-of-war. Am I right about that?
Because you're used to living as an individual. And so what ends up happening is you've got this person on this end who's used to living like their own person, not accountable to the other person, and you've got this person on the other end, and you both kind of you still are maintaining and walking in your own unique individual dynamics of how life used to be before you got married, and all of a sudden now you've got this tension.
Yes, absolutely.
This tension that's created in your life.
Absolutely.
And there could be tension over the, whose priorities are going to come first, whose schedule is more important than the other person. Who's making dinner, who's cleaning up, who's doing, all of a sudden, where once you were footloose and fancy-free, now you've tied the knot, and now you develop these tensions that were not there before. There are just some things that they're not going to come out until you get married.
Absolutely. Let's show them how to alleviate the tension.
Okay.
So, man, you got this tension in your marriage, and it's just tight.
Yeah.
And you think the best way to alleviate the tension is to get them to come your way, right? But, if you notice, when you do that, there's still tension, all right? Yeah. So we got this tension, and the best way is really, if you just take a step towards God and a step towards one another, look what happens to this tension.
Okay. Ease
just
us
like
up.
that. Just like that. You know,
Jesus
stepping towards God, stepping towards one another,
Yeah.
all the tension goes out.